a good dancer.
She's a good dancer.
She is a good dancer.
She is a good dancer. But is she really a good dancer?
Everyone says she's a good dancer.
Oh, right. Well, if everyone says she's a good dancer, then she's a good dancer. But is she really a good dancer?
Yeah. I mean, just look at her ears.
Yeah. Her teeth really shine.
She's a bad dancer.
She's a bad dancer.
She's a bad dancer.
She is a bad dancer. But why is she a bad dancer?
Everyone says she's a bad dancer.
Oh. Well, if everyone says she's a bad dancer, then she's a bad dancer. So, why is she a bad dancer?
Too short.
Too old,
Too fat.
too young,
Too skinny.
too tall. Too tall.
She's a bad dancer.
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 She's a bad dancer. She's a bad dancer. She's a bad dancer. She's a bad dancer. She's a bad dancer. She's a bad dancer. She's a bad dancer. She's a bad dancer. She's a bad dancer.
Hello, my name is Xander, and this is a poem I wrote called Coconut Coated. I want to get an avocado taco with the salsa and a cherry vanilla Coca-Cola in a bottle on the side as a sideshow. When I know I want gelato with the Oreo crumb, chocolate caramel coated combo, want it coconut coated. And I don't mean the food, I mean I want a coconut coated mood. Like the very aura of the room gets almond loaded and chocolate coated and super cool, and ooh, it's so good, like the chillest vanilla milkshake on a hot day. I want an extra interstellar flavor, an afternoon flake flurry coconut coated blizzard. Don't want the gone in a minute lifesaver or the chew for an hour now and later. Gotta get that mind-melding Milky Way. I'll make your mind, my silky legs just crunch on the almonds, and you know how I want it. I want a coconut coated. Make me feel like how I used to feel. In the era of the unregulated vocabulary, I said cotton candy clouds. I called the sky blueberry, where there were very many cherry flavor carefree days, and everywhere were bottled rockets lolly-popping through the night air. That was the era between toddling and gawkiness. I used to run after garter snakes butt naked. As they slithered away through summertime meadows, they made grass tunnels, getaways, and got away a lot. And when I finally catch one, he bites back and won't let go. Just a light scratch, so I say, "All right, Mr. Snake, you can hang on as long as you want." And I ran to show my mom with them hanging on my arm. Fast forward a decade and I'm overdosing on so much of my own serotonin, feeling inside like I just drank Coke and Mentos. But never mind. I slide over to her side of the jacuzzi. And I've never done it before. But when we kiss, it's like dark chocolate, narcotic, infiltrated, defibrillated, heart stopped and restarted, lips open like I was kissing a purple lotus, a super coconut coated and almond loaded moment. Is there no one else here who knows it? Thank you.
My name's Isabel McBride, and I'm going to read a piece called Moving Medium. Chalky sundust smocks my eyes. Easing through my easel, I stroke brush on canvas. I'm strictly a moving medium, untamed by frames. I'm only true in meter, and false in those squares that orbit outside of rhythm. I'd paint our dance, but I wouldn't have a chance of catching you as you run between animal noises, breaking your breath to press meaning into my face, embracing the trace of my fermenting fog after sighs evaporate and we're left blistering in our night. I'd faint my heart, but I'd fear I'd catch my loss, slip through nestled sinews, unnest my restless sacrum until limbs speak single words, worming out of sleep into wide-ruled lines where I practice script with gripped fist, in first grade when shame first dripped from skull to hand like a leaky gutter.
Kevin Dorff, and this is A House with a Family. If I don't know where I am right now, then I don't know where I come from. So right now, right this moment, I yearn to be real. But what is real anyways? Well, for starters, real is honesty with yourself and others. Real is loving yourself enough to accept your flaws and inadequacies. Real is accepting the parts of yourself that are admirable and truly good. Real is a safeguard against suicide. Real is how to do your best. This is where I am, or rather, this is where I want to be. So how did I get here? I come from a house that nourished me with cynicism and optimism and boundless love. So I come from a house that showed me both how to be and not to be a person. I come from a house that expected my very, very best always. The very best grades, the very best minuet in G, the very best caricature on stage, the very best 100 butterfly. I come from a house that expected my very, very best before it expected me to be real. A house of fake it till you make it and do unto others as, you know. I come from a house that allowed pop and junk food only on weekends. A house of lean bodies and clean, straight teeth. A good house of good parenting. A house with a bedtime. Good night, sleep tight, see you in the morning light, I love you. I come from a house that sang crackly NPR music on Saturdays. Garrison Keillor whistling his words while he worked. I come from a house of skeptics, upbeat agnostics, pagan parents, scientists sarcastically self-reproaching, if only we were a good Christian family, as if believing in something other than yourself were a sin. Tolerant people who tolerated curiosity. Believe in what you want, it's okay. Mom, Dad, I just want you to mean what you say, because I come from a house where I never had to fight to be anything. To be a doctor, a writer, an architect, an artist, a psychologist, a musician, or an actor. I never had to fight to be real. It was all right, it was all okay, everything was fine in every single way. I come from a house built 96 years ago in the equivocating Midwest. That's 384 mercurial Midwestern seasons. Blizzards, ice storms, thunderstorms, hailstorms, showers, scorchers, tornadoes, rainbows, sunny days, windy days, cloudy days, snow days, days that warm up, days that cool down, days that seem to go on forever, and days that just fly by. I come from a resilient house. I come from a house that favored Halloween over other holidays, the very best homemade costumes, Frankenstein and Pee Wee Herman, a mascot and a lightning strike victim, Thomas the Tank Engine and a lumberjack. A house of celebration, a house of non-tradition, a house with a family newsletter every Christmas, a house with a family. Steven's in Indiana in cello performance, Kevin's on Broadway, well, not really, Mom, but Eric is back in the pool and we're so proud. I come from a house with something to prove. A house with something to prove. A house where that box of blue ribbons belies your sense of self-achievement. So, in fact, I come from a house that didn't teach me resilience. Or rather, a house that didn't teach me the kind of resilience I wanted. The kind that allows you to say what you mean and mean what you say. The kind that has you thinking rational. The kind that allows you to pursue what you want. The kind without fear, shame, assumption, or ignorance. The kind that makes you real. My house taught me how to do my best, and it taught me how to be good. I come from a good house, and for that I must be grateful. Because if I don't know where I come from, then I don't know where I am right now. But someday I hope to have something other than a good house. Someday I hope to have a real home.
My name is Nicole, and I'll be reading Metamorphosis. I was born Vanessa Nicole Wilkinson. The body I was born with was small. It fit in the palm of the 7-foot-tall doctor who delivered me, put me in a glass case, and stuck me with needles. If I were to survive my chrysalis lungs, I'd grow up to like Barbies, have a cute, successful job like veterinarian, and be thin enough to marry a man and give my parents grandchildren. So it goes, my lungs unfurled their wet wings, and I learned to breathe. Maybe a little later than other kids, but here I am. The butterflies end here, though Vanessa did not fit like Victory did. So, when I was in preschool, a teacher who I don't remember called me by my middle name, Nicole. It means victory of the people, and it stuck like a sword. All my friends tell me that Vanessa never really fit me, and that Nicole suits me best, but I wouldn't know what they meant until later. It was around that time that my mom learned that you can lead a toddler to Barbies, but you can't keep her from chewing their plastic arms off. And I like food too much to be thin, and I like wrestling too much to be ladylike, and as for dreams of future husbands, I thought boys were kind of gross, and so they could cross that off the list, and checklist just wasn't checking out. And then I reached high school, where I learned that I had a thing for words and girls, and all stereotypes aside, I did not seek to achieve gayness, rather I had gayness thrust upon me, and nothing sticks harder than labels, so for a few years I became a 3-letter word that was easier to remember than my own name. So I started to write my name again and again in pen, because I heard that pens were mightier than swords, and while I still wouldn't bring a pen to a sword fight, it proved to be true that manifestos are better for poets than wars are. So I started to write things to make bigots cry and women smile, and while people still didn't really know me by the name I was born with, they knew by heart the things I tried to tell them. That my name is Nicole. It means victory of the people. I've waged wars with myself and have scars that only lovers can see, but I still came out victorious. And I've worked hard to love the body that I've achieved. And I'm not how my parents thought I'd turn out to be, but I'm a pretty good consolation prize. And the things I do will always mean more than the things I couldn't choose. Thanks.
So I've been working in the music library across the street at Packard Hall every night, the closing shift till 9, and it's fine. I just sit there cataloging old shit, Bach to rock. Now we got it. But one day to pass the time, I found a CD player. You remember those? And I put on some stuff, and then the time started going fast. I got on the concerto of Brandenburg. There's this flautist in the room. I'm scanning her. Books. Don't give me those looks. And as she walks out, I see she's a hottie, so I put on some Scarlatti, Domenico, vitamins and minerals for those dudes in classical Vienna. I'm hearing Mozart, me and Haydn, except I can't find him. He's hiding. Somewhere in here, rotting through the shelves, no fear, digging the roots, even loots sound dope. The whole scope of musical history is contained, and I'm unlocking every mystery that remains. White album, black album, green album, blue, dabba-dee, diving right into the next thing. Jazz king, Polonius monk, not Polonius punk. He's not minor, he's a major character with spunk. He put minor over major chords and gave us funk, and they got Jay-Z to scratch my hove itch, but if I'm in a rush, they got Shostakovich, because I'm Russian. And show this, take notice. I got 99 composers, but I ain't one yet. You see, I'm studying up, hammering my hands to the keys, no nails, just scales like do, is what I hope to someday make. Ray, Dio by storm, I will take me to the top, fall up and never stop. Soul, I got it, love, I got it, teach me how to open the door. Now, Stravinsky had odd time signatures, which was hard on clarinet's ligatures, which is the part between the mouthpiece and the reed. Ahead to the 20s, my man Duke, you must take the 18-hour uke tutorial, for real. Good Lord, there's no excuse to be bored. They got the Eagles anthology, their songs are fully scored, plus Wagner's opera about the flaming sword, it's on DVD. And between you and me, they got Spring by Vivaldi, but I want the winner set. So now I've got a torrential question. Do I take the sinner's bet? Resist the magic tease and pay back my sinner's debt, or embrace the tragic ease of the internet? And I know my answer is wrong. It's a cancer, and I can serve time for ripping off Ice Cube's rhymes in cold blood. It's not a torrent, it's a flood rocking through me. Rice wine, sake to me, sock it to me, sock it to me. I've got R-E-S-P-E-C-T, but I've got no M-O-N-E. Why? Do I think it's an excuse? Well, it's not. But now I have no excuse to be bored with all I got.